Disclaimer, if you're planning to get married or you have a friend who wants to get married, grab her, sit down and listen to the story, okay? This is normally not the type of content I go for, but guys, just listen to the story, leave a comment. She will be watching and she will be reading your comments, so advise her on what you think is best. Be nice, guys. Assalamu alaikum, sister. I would like some advice on my current situation from you and your followers. I met this man when I was 17 and he was 27 years old. I was currently living in a different country to where I am living right now, and I started seeking marriage to escape the country my parents brought me to. 2 months into us talking, he came to see me and my parents. Everything was going good until he left and went to a different country and said he needed to sort out some things for his mom, and that's when everything went left. He blocked me from everywhere, and at first I didn't notice until I started contacting his mom and sister, and they told me they haven't heard from him either. A couple of hours went by, he called me and said, "Stop contacting my family, and I don't want nothing to do with you." And I left it at that. 3 weeks go by, he contacted me saying sorry. I accepted the apology like the damn person I was, and started afresh with him. And ever since then, things were hell. He would constantly be yelling and cussing me and my whole family out, also telling me I should be cutting off my family because they're not good at all. All of that kept going on for a year before we got married. Every time I tried to leave, he would say he will unalive himself and would FaceTime me and talk of self-harm, and I would get back with him just to stop the self-harm. All of that manipulation kept going on for a year, and he would block me and ignore me whenever he felt like it, and constantly emotionally abusing me and gaslighting me into thinking I was the problem. Before the nikah happened for a year straight, I would constantly tell him I want to plan the wedding, so if he can send the expenses for the nikah and the wedding. He kept lying and making up excuses, saying first his mom stole the money, then another saying his sister stole it, and then at the end he would say he's saving it up and that I should be patient. He said he was gonna come and bring the money. He booked a flight an hour before he blocked me from everywhere, and then when my mom found out, "If you're not gonna marry my daughter, don't contact her anymore." He said he was done, and we left it at that. And I started my healing process. And then he contacted me again, saying he will unalive himself if I wasn't in his life. Subhanallah. And we were back at the cycle again. Before we got married, I moved countries and went to live with my mom, who was living in Africa. Then we got married. After that, he came to visit and stayed for a week. In that week, I realized I've gotten myself into something I was going to regret my whole life. He would constantly be on his phone or laptop watching movies. He did not look at me or even acknowledge me, and didn't want to spend time with me. When he left a month later, I found out I was pregnant, and throughout my whole pregnancy, it was very much stressful. I was in and out of the hospital. I was under a lot of distress that I almost miscarried my baby. Miskeen. And the doctor kept telling me to rest. I was losing a lot of weight and the baby was not gaining any weight either. After that, he came back to see me when I was almost 8 months pregnant. Throughout the whole time, he was cheating on me, and I found out later on when he came to see me. I seen a bunch of messages on his phone that he was talking to a bunch of women, and they were exchanging nudes and meeting up at hotels. After that, when I seen all of that, I had asked for my divorce and he did not give it to me. So we didn't talk for 2 days, and then he ended up giving me my divorce, and that was the first time he laid his hands on me. He strangled me, he beat me up, and later on, I decided to return to the country where I was raised, and I gave birth. A couple of weeks before I gave birth, he took back his divorce, and then he ended up saying, "I'm not going to show up to the birth of our child." This is an animal. I ended up giving birth alone and then going through postpartum alone. I ended up getting postpartum depression, and every time I will talk to him, he will tell me to unalive myself, and before I do that, I should give our child to him, then I should go and unalive myself because nobody cares about me. And that was going on for a year. The constant abuse, the constant physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, psychological abuse, he stopped providing. He told me to go provide for myself, and it kept going on for a year until he put his hands on me one more time, almost attempted murder, choked me, and strangled me. I ended up having the strength to kick him out and call the police on him. During that period of time, we were married. He would use intimacy as a form of power and abuse, subhanallah. And every time that he wanted to be intimate, I was not feeling like it. He would force himself and get it by force. Inna lillah. He ended up giving me my last divorce, and now I'm at a stage where he refuses to give me my meher. He blocked me from everywhere. I have no contact with him, so my mom is the middleman between him and me. She asked him where is her meher and the child support money. He says if she wants money for the child, she has to sign and get our child a passport from the country where he's from. If not, then he's not going to give me my meher and the child support money. The purpose of him wanting to get my child's citizenship from the country he's from is because he wants to apply for a dependent child so that he gets taxed less and also gets tax returns. So that is the reason why I am refusing to sign the papers, because why should he benefit from my child when I'm the only one who is struggling and he's not doing anything? So now I'm at a stage where I'm going to the courts and getting child support from him, and the meher, I left it to Allah. So the question is there an Islamic way of getting the meher from the man if he refuses to pay? She does emphasize that if you're planning to get married anytime soon, or you know someone who is planning to get married, advise them to do a thorough background on this person. And whenever your parents warn you about someone, always listen, because she says her biggest regret was never listening to her parents when they first warned her about this man that she was going to get married to. So girls, I hope you've listened. I hope you've learned from this. And if you have any advice or comment on what she can do about her situation, kindly leave it in the comments section. And if you have any stories that you would like to share it with me. Until next time, guys, bye bye.